Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Truth Nerd channel. Today we're talking about gobs of brown dwarfs the size of Earth, X-rays, and more fun with JPEGs.
On the left-hand side, the blue arrows indicate two point-like X-ray sources because it's difficult to see, they're very tiny, but they are there. They cannot be planets because planets don't emit X-rays. Only stars are X-ray sources, basically. So they are so small that you'd think they might be planets. But don't forget, planets do not emit X-rays.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
A Google search tells us that many things in space emit X-rays. Among them are black holes, neutron stars, binary star systems, supernova remnants, stars, the sun, and even some comets. The Earth glows in many kinds of light, including the energetic X-ray band. Another article says, although planets, satellites, and comets have temperatures well below the millions of degrees typically needed to produce cosmic X-rays, these cooler objects have been found to produce X-rays in a variety of ways. X-radiation from solar system objects provide important information difficult to come by with other telescopes. So that's two articles that are telling us that planets produce X-rays. Let's go to yet a third article. Pluto is emitting X-rays, and it's challenging our understanding of the solar system. Astronomers working with NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory have witnessed everyone's favorite dwarf planet Pluto emitting X-rays, and it's the first time an object in the Kuiper Belt has been found to do so. So there's three articles stating that planets all do in fact emit X-rays. So this article stating even our little buddy Pluto way out in the Kuiper Belt is emitting X-rays. So planets do in fact emit X-rays.
So this is what we have. We actually have finally found these brown dwarf stars close to the sun. It's these objects. As you can see, there are so many close to the sun. I mean, just in this image, we found 5 large ones and several other, possibly even smaller brown dwarf stars. Look at it. There they are. And there are more than 5 of them. There are lots of them. They've come in droves into the solar system and are surrounding the sun.
Now, these don't have to be massive, as in, for instance, the diameter of an object.
Brown dwarf stars can be so small, they can be the size of the Earth. The strongest ones, the most reactive ones, the densest ones would be the ones that are the smallest. And these can be the same size as planet Earth.
It's important to remember one thing. You're wrong. Here's why.
A simple Google search of what is the smallest brown dwarf star shows us that researchers' findings continue to blur the line dividing our universe's smallest stars and biggest planets. The majority of the newly discovered brown dwarfs weigh in at around 20 Jupiter masses, what has long been considered the low end of the known mass range for brown dwarfs. So they're saying that the low end of the mass range is still around 20 Jupiter masses, nowhere close to how small Earth is. Another article states, the very beginning of a star forming is a brown dwarf, a star that hasn't gotten enough mass together yet to begin nuclear fusion. They are the smallest and coolest kind of stars. If you skip to the end, it says, it can be hard to tell the difference between the smallest brown dwarf stars and the biggest planets. Most people think of the smallest brown dwarf stars as being about 13 times as big as Jupiter. But brown dwarfs don't grow out of planets. They form out of gas clouds between the stars in space. So here's another article that is corroborating the idea that a brown dwarf the size of Earth is basically not going to happen. That's why we differentiate between the two classes of planets and brown dwarfs. So basically what we're seeing here is that a brown dwarf is always going to be bigger than a planet. This article states that even the smallest brown dwarfs are about 13 times as big as Jupiter.
Amazing. I mean, these objects are obviously close to the sun. They cannot be background stars because, first of all, background stars would not move between 1836 and 1844, right?
Yeah, that's a very short amount of time.
Plus, you cannot see X-ray sources that's close to the sun. It's impossible to see X-ray sources. And these have to be X-ray sources. So again, these are objects that are close to the sun. Compact stars that can only be brown dwarf stars close to the sun. So we get the same kind of thing that we saw in the SDO images that we've just examined. And these GOES images, we see the same kind of thing. There are objects around the sun, very close to the sun.
It sounds like bullshit.
So once again, let's consult our expert in satellites, Jerry Bell, who is part of the Fact or Fiction research team. Jerry was kind enough to throw together a short presentation for us titled Simple Examination of the Images Downloaded from the SDO Satellite to Make the Claim of Brown Dwarfs Positioned Beside the Sun. We are going to look at the images from May 2nd, 2007 that was referred to on the video. First, we load the image into the Photos program. Simply sliding the light bar reveals compression artifacts in the image. We can now see the alleged brown dwarfs. Looks like a skull to me. Further enhanced image claiming the compression artifacts as brown dwarfs. This was an image from the video. There are lots of options in the Windows Photos program to change color, brightness, contrast, etc. The more you degrade the image, the more the artifacts become apparent. These are simply JPEG artifacts, as we've explained before. Many more quote-unquote brown dwarfs appear if you play with the image enough.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing here, you're looking at dark images before I even touched them. And it is a very, very time-consuming process. And the process that I used, and I really shouldn't even divulge this, but I was able to increase the pixels from only 16 pixels, 4 by 4, a little square. And I increased those pixels from 16 to 10,000. And when I increase those pixels to 10,000, it clearly shows a well-defined object. And after several hours, I was able to bring out these objects, and I made a short video about it. And immediately, the debunkers took the video and they stated that what I was showing were JPEG artifacts, meaning pixelized pictures, that there in fact was absolutely nothing there but pixels, little pixels. Well, little do they know how I was able to come about bringing these JPEG artifacts out.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
Now wait just a minute.
And you're ugly.
We consulted the professionals at Quora to find out how can I increase the resolution of a JPEG photo. The first thing that came up was every time you edit an image, you lose data. That's why an LPG that started out looking really great deteriorates after time if you keep going back to the same file, edit, copy, etc. The next one, you cannot increase the actual resolution of an image. The resolution of an image can only be decreased. Though you can increase the size of the container, for example, if a JPEG image is 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels in size, you can increase it to 2,000 pixels by 2,000 pixels or whatever you like, but this won't actually increase the image quality. The effect would be the same as magnifying the image 2 times. In fact, you can't, as resizing or enlarging will cause losing quality, and you have to do further steps to regain the loss of quality in your image. So it's basically a known fact with every photographer out there that trying to increase pixels is just not possible. All it's going to do is, you're going to lose more image quality. Let's let Jerry Bell explain a little further. Now we will use an original FITS file from 2017, May 2nd, and load into two common FITS viewers, FV and SAO. We can export images to the PNG file format as the other images and load into Windows Photos. We load the PNG export from the FITS file and try to manipulate to reveal any objects around the sun. No brown dwarfs will show up in the original image. The anomalies that show up in the degraded PNG files are simple compression artifacts. You can easily check with other images taken at the same time and get a completely different set of artifacts, or has a new group of brown dwarfs magically appeared.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Truth Nerd channel. And while you're at it, hit the link in the description box to head over to our main page, Fact or Fiction, and give us a click there also. And when you get a minute, check out our website. That will also be linked in the description box. Thanks for watching.